Bonjour, hi. Today I am recapping the premiere episode of Canada's Drag Race Season 6, Not Sorry About It. This was such a fun and great way to kick off a season. There's a lot to say, so without further ado, let's get into it. One by one, the queens enter the workroom, and I gave my top toot to Van Gogh's entrance look. This is absolutely amazing. And speaking of, Van Gogh says that her plan is to make alliances with everybody this season and then break them when it doesn't suit her anymore. And if you've been watching Dragula Titan season 2, it's giving Jaharia. I also want to comment that I'm glad production listened because the last two seasons of Canada's Drag Race, we have not seen the queens react to one another's entrances. They sort of just all walked in together and we skipped that very important part. So thank you, I missed the original format. Right off the bat, storylines begin to form. Dulce and Van Gogh have a pre existing rivalry. Saltina and Sammy are TikTok queens, potential alliance. And Hazel and PM are firm friends. At that moment, Rue appears on the screen and tells the queens they need to immediately make their way to the main stage. And there they are met by Brooklyn Heights and Tracy Melchior. Brooke announces right away that nobody is going home in the first week. The 5 queens who make the best first impressions will get valuable face time with the judges. But there will only be one winner who will receive a very special treat. They will get to lip sync against Brooklyn Heights herself. And I mean, we all saw this in the trailer, but it's still a gag. I also wasn't expecting it in the first episode. So for the very first maxi challenge of the season, the queens will be introducing themselves to the world in music video Not Sorry About It. And you may remember this iconic track from season 1 of Canada's Drag Race. They will be performing with Lemon, the winner of Canada vs. the World Season 2, and assisted by choreographer and special guest judge Hollywood Jade. And it just makes sense for Lemon to be in this episode because not only is she one of the most recent winners of Canada's Drag Race, but she also was in the original Not Sorry About It girl group track. So this music video was already released a few days prior to this episode airing. And my favorite verses were PM's, which was just so fun, Velma because she was giving Lady Gaga with the drag orchestra line, and Hazel for giving some serious rhymes with dominating, captivating, liberating, penetrating. As the queens de-drag, Saltina says she doesn't remember the performance part and she views that as a failure. She's getting the in my head edit already. And it turns out that she didn't need to feel that way, but we'll get there. On the non-elimination day, Paula Abdul surprises the queens in the workroom. They all collectively lost their minds and fair. She gives them some really solid advice about hard work and dedication. So on the main stage this evening, we have Brooklyn Heights. And I just love everything that Brooke wears. I think she's one of the best dressed hosts across all franchises. We are also joined by Tracy Melchior, Hollywood Jade, and of course, icon Paula Abdul. Category is more, and I gave my top toot to Saltina Shaker. This was just beyond stunning. It's perfect. So Velma, Saltina, PM, Ebony, and Van Gogh are made the top 5 of the week. 2 out of my top 3 nailed the premiere. I know that's right. First up is Velma, and she is told her entrance look was stunning. Period. And vocally, her verse gave the judges life. They were obsessed with the drag orchestra part, as was I. Highlighting Velma in the premiere episode was such a good choice on production's part. Showcasing how major this is for Drag Race is very important. I loved her runway, but Brooke said it was wearing her. Saltina is told her entrance look was phenomenal and her runway fabulous. Hollywood says she brought the space and her verse to life. And Brooke says she's shown nothing but rock star energy from the minute she entered the competition. Saltina says that Paula coming into the workroom really helped her get out of her head. The judges say they love being let into PM's world, gagging over her dance movements. And Paula says PM is the complete package. However, they wanted everything on the runway to be bigger. And normally this look is very me, but that is why I didn't give it my top toot because I also wanted more. Ebony is told she is absolutely beautiful, but her train could have been a lot bigger on the runway. They were living for her bars in the verse. They tell Van Gogh that she came to play. Brooke loved her line, now up my rate. Her entrance look is commended for its surrealism, and they loved the giant ear on the runway. They say it's clever, original, and branded, and we definitely haven't seen anything like this before. Brooke does clock her for her manly posture, however, leading Paula to give Van Gogh a lesson in beveling, or how to bevel. In Untucked, Hazel says she is surprised that she wasn't in the top. She says she gave more is more. Van Gogh stirs the pot by asking the girls if any of them thought one of the top 5 didn't deserve their placement. And this leads to the expansion of the Dulce-Van Gogh rivalry. Dulce says they just don't vibe, and she brings up a time where Van Gogh was mean to her backstage, saying something about being surprised to see her there. But Van Gogh just laughs because she doesn't remember saying it. She wonders why Dulce chose that exact moment to bring up that situation when she had other opportunities to do so. And Paolo is told many times that her runway wasn't as extra as it could have been, but she just laughs and says she doesn't care. She is such an icon, and so is Sammy Landry. I am so glad that they have 2 absolutely stupid and ridiculous queens in this cast. Back on the main stage, the win goes to Van Gogh. And I will say I was a little bit surprised. I thought it was going to be Sultina, but I'm not unhappy about this result. I do think Van Gogh deserved it. And so Van Gogh gets the absolute honor of getting to lip sync with Brooklyn Heights. I would not want to go up against her. They performed to Cold Hearted by Paula Abdul. And I'm so sorry, Van Gogh, but I was not looking at you at all. Brooklyn devoured this. When she did the Coco Montrese, I lost my ever-loving mind. And this is what I love about Brooke being a host, because she's been a contestant as well before, and I think she straddles that line really well. There is no winner, but let's be real, Brooklyn won that. And so, my friends, what did you think of the premiere episode of Canada Season 6? This was amazing. Such a great cast, such a top tier episode. I love the runways. The vibes were immaculate. I think we've been needing this after UK7. Next week is a marketing comedy challenge, and it looks like the drama gets a little juicy. But as always, let me know all the tea. Who had your favorite runway and your favorite verse? And who won that lip sync? I want to know all of your thoughts, and I will see you very soon for another video.